Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2020 Honda Accord 2-liter Turbo Sport with the 10-speed automatic transmission on it. A big shout out and thank you to Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for providing us with the Accord. Check out their inventory in the link below if you're in the market for a new Honda. As always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the car, then we'll take it out to see how it drives. Under the hood here we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 32 on the highway. And then power outputs 252 horsepower, and then it's 273 pound-feet of torque. Now let's finish things up on the front. So this paint color is called Platinum on it. I really like these lines on the hood. It has a really nice aesthetic on it. You do get the full LED lights that you can see, and there's a little bit of LED accent lighting that kind of comes down right there. Fog lamps are down below. Again, the whole grille is kind of blacked out. Obviously, you do have the Honda logo that's finished in chrome, and then you have kind of like this like lower, it's kind of like a gray, but it has like a very polished finish to it at the top. Accent-wise, it looks really nice on the front here. Now around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires, 19-inch rims, front and in the rear. I really like the design on these. It's obviously the 5-spoke design, and they kind of have these little silver inserts on the black rims. Looks really nice. Brake calipers stand out, so if you did want to paint those a different color, it would stand out quite a bit, so you can see them very well. Here's our key fob for the Accord, so you can see there's a couple functions on it: lock and unlock, remote start, and then the release for the trunk. If we lock it and then we hold down the remote start function on it, give it just a moment, you can hear that 2-liter turbo come to life. And then if we press it again, it'll actually shut it off. Now the other function on it is holding down that to release the trunk on it, and then if we actually walk up to the trunk, the releaser is right here basically to pop it up, and it just like springs to action essentially. You can see space back here is plentiful. You got your floor mats in the rear, and then under here you can see you've got like your jack and all that kind of stuff as well. But space back here is actually pretty good, and it looks like you can fold the seats down for extra storage, but we'll verify that once we are in the front. Now, we can see the rest of the rear. We've got these nice lights that kind of wrap all the way around. You've got the reflectors on the side, but I like how it kind of wraps down and goes back into the bottom of it. 2-liter T badging right there, Sport. You've got the exhaust out in the rear, and I kind of like the design in the rear, but the front is definitely my favorite part of the Accord. Now coming into the back, we can see the door panel for the rear. So you can see that you've got the plastic up here, and they've got this nice black trim, and then there's this line that goes all the way to the door handle. I like that accenting. It's a really nice look. Leather trim down below with one of the window controls. Now here are these seats in the back. So they've got these nice little cloth inserts on them, full leather, and I looked and I can't find anything to pull the seats down, so maybe they don't pull down. I don't know, maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place. But anyways, got the vents here in the rear. Legroom is plentiful in the back, so if you want more legroom, definitely go for the Accord over the Civic. Now I've got keyless entry up front, so one touch to lock it, and then to unlock it, just put your hand on the back of the door handle. Now you can see the door panel in the front. So again, we have this panel up here, and then it's got this cool little trim right there that goes along with the accent. It goes all the way to the door handle. Window controls right here. You've got your mirror adjustments. That obviously is to open up the trunk, and then again leather padding with the stitching. Here's the seat here in the front, so you can see again full leather here with the stitching, cloth insert all the way down the seat. I really like these front seats. They have a nice look to them. Fully power adjustable with the lumbar support. You can see the pedal layout, and they have nice finishes on the pedals that make them look more premium. You've got your hood release right there. Stability control. We'll go over this button in a moment, and then you have your release for the steering wheel, so it is manually adjustable. You can see the paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel right there. Guys, wait for this, okay, ready? So like it thinks I just left. It has like a little chime for when you get in the car, but to start it up, just put your foot on the brake, push the push start. It'll start right up. You can see the gauges. We'll do a little sweep right there, and everything will come to life. We've got everything on the steering wheel here. So Honda logo right there in the center. You've got your controls for the cruise control. It does have the lane keep assist, which I really like. That's a good thing that Honda has that. This is for the whole steering wheel, so you got like your home button right here, all of your radio controls, everything, phone controls, voice commands, and then you guys can see the whole steering wheel right here. Really nice design on the steering wheel. I like the just overall setup. The leather on it is very smooth, And then you can see you've got your light stock / turn signal stock right there, and then your windshield wiper stock on the other side. And then, like I said, paddle shifters, so you can shift the gears yourself with that 10-speed automatic. Remember that button that I said we're gonna go over in a minute, that little thing that looks like a shield around the car? That has to do with the center screen. So you press that, and that just pulls up all the safety tech right there in the middle of the RPM screen. You can see on the right side, you've got the speed, and then you've got a couple different things you can kind of scroll through. So you can see that this has a couple different menus that you can scroll through, and it's cool. The gauge, it does it like right there on the gauge cluster. I think it's a really cool look. And then if you just basically go all the way out of it, you can just make it look like just for the RPM screen again. But I think that's really neat that Honda has done that, and it's a really clean, nice look. Here's our center touchscreen right here. So we've got buttons all along the touchscreen, and I'll press a couple functions so you guys can see how well this responds. You got like your trip computer here, and then I can press the button. You can see it goes all the way back. If I go over to, let's just say, satellite radio, and hopefully it doesn't turn on so that I don't get copyrighted or anything like that. But yeah, you can see, I mean, the touchscreen's pretty responsive, and this, we'll go over this in a minute. But if we pop it into reverse, which we got to just press that button right there, you can see it'll pop into reverse. You can see a camera system will pop up, and then you can see right there all the different angles you can look at with it. So again, if you ever want to tow with your Accord, there's the angle to look for. Really what that is so you don't hit into a curb, so you can like go really, really close to it, but I like to make towing jokes. Here we've got our vents, you've got your hazard lights there in the center, and then we have our controls for the climate. It is a dual zone climate, heated seats, and yes, it is on for sure because it is fully snowing now. You can't really see it through the camera very well, but I promise it is snowing. But anyways, dual zone climate right there in that area, and then you can see we've got a bunch of charging stations here in this area, and this is a lot better integrated than what's on some other Honda models. Cup holders in here, and then we've got the whole center console set up so you can lift that up. Plenty of storage space. Got some nice stitching on it with the leather. Parking brake, you got your brake hold, your eco mode, and your sport mode. We'll go over this whole thing in a second, but let's head over to the glove box quickly. You see the glove box decently sized right there. Now, if you're wondering, by the way, where this pops up, you can see that if I go sport mode versus eco mode, right here, it pops up on the screen. The sport mode just makes everything red and aggressive because you're in sport mode. But here's the shifter. So you've got your park, which you press in, reverse, you press this button, neutral, you press that button, drive, you press that button. So everything's a button, but the reverse is just weird because it's like a tab that you push in instead of push down like everything else. There's a sunglass holder up here, which has kind of like this little rubber padding in it so it doesn't scratch up your sunglasses. You've got the controls for the lights. You just click those, one touch on. And then you can see you've got the sunroof up here to let a little bit of extra light into the cabin. Other than that, they keep things pretty simple up top. Wrapping things up on the interior, I really like it. It all flows together very well, so you can kind of see they've got all these lines that just go throughout the entire interior. It's a very nice look in general. But let's go over pricing. So this Honda Accord Sport with the 2-liter turbo, stickers for about $31,000 before any type of market adjustment, which is actually really close in price to a Honda Civic hatchback. And so it'd be tempting to go for the Accord because you get more power, you get a bigger car, everything just more, but you're so close in price. That all being said though, let's take this 2020 Accord out to see how it drives. About visibility here in the Accords, you can see over the hood visibility is really solid. You can see visibility throughout both of the mirrors, and note, it does have blind spot. Now we can see visibility throughout the back is really good. Window in there is actually really big, and they do have a little side window there, which I really appreciate. Not all sedans do that, so it actually helps out with rear visibility quite a bit. But let's figure this up. Let's set off. So initially setting off, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. So this being a much larger sedan than the Civic that I recently reviewed, ride quality is a little bit smoother, but it's not as smooth as I would have suspected. It's pretty much the same ride quality wise as the Civic. Now in terms of road noise, the cabin is really well insulated. Again, pretty similar to the Civic. I feel like they're super similar cars actually. You can see I'm taking a couple turns here, and the steering on it is really light and effortless, but it's also pretty tight. Not as tight as what's on the Civic. The Civic definitely darts around quite a bit quicker. This, obviously being a much larger sedan, is going to be a little bit more lackadaisical with how it turns. Now as we're stopped here, before I make a right turn, Will note that it doesn't have that cool little like camera turn signal thing that the Civic has, so I know that they're gonna eventually add that onto all of the Honda models, or at least I assume so. So it's a cool little feature, and looks like it is not on the Accord, but it has blind spot monitoring, so we're good there. I've got it in sport mode so that it's red and aggressive with the gauge cluster, and we're gonna get a little acceleration here now. This thing's actually really quick. I was not expecting that. I mean, it just gets up to speed so quickly. We're gonna put it back into eco mode so it will kind of gear up a little bit, and so it'll get us a little bit better fuel economy. But yeah, this thing is so quick. I mean, once you get into those turbos, it moves. Now, wrapping things up on this Accord, I mean, if you're looking for a quick sedan, obviously this is definitely, like I said, this is so much quicker than I thought it would feel when I, read the power figures. I mean, it just drives so much quicker than those power figures suggest. That 10-speed is so good with shifting through the gears. But yeah, if you want a comfortable sedan you can drive on a daily basis, super reliable, just like all of the Hondas are, then this Accord is definitely an awesome option to look into. And the price point that it's at is really solid for all of the safety tech that you get, the reliability, and like I said, this thing is it is peppy for sure. And there we have it, everyone, the 2020 Honda Accord, and it's kind of finally stopped snowing a little bit, but you guys can kind of see the little flakes. But anyways, awesome car, absolutely love it. And again, a big shout out and thank you to Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for providing us with this Accord. Check out their inventory in the link below if you're in the market for a Honda. And by the way, they do have a ton of certified pre-owned Hondas if that's your gig as well. You guys can see I'm kind of in the pre-owned section, so boom, certified. But anyways, I'll see all of you in that next video.